In this video, we are going to start with simple one-finger rock guitar and gradually progress through basic power chords, riffs. We will progress to advanced rhythms. We'll start with easy guitar solos, and as we improve, we'll speed things up a bit to more challenging lead guitar parts. Let's take a 6-string open E note and learn how to adjust our amp settings for premium rock tone. The controls on this amp feature 2 channels. In most cases, the first channel is a clean guitar sound. Channel 2 is usually a distorted guitar sound. For this channel, the more gain you use, the heavier the guitar tone will be. For a common rock guitar tone, engage the overdrive and set it to 6 or 7. Next, we have the EQ or equalizer controlling the low, mid, and high frequencies. Let's put these at 12 o'clock, which means they are flat, not giving or taking away from the tone. In rock, it is typical to raise the bass a little to the number 7 marker and slightly boost the mids to 6 and treble just past the number 7 marker. Here's the open E, an E power chord, and here's an open E chord. If your amp and guitar combination aren't giving you the tone you desire, you can insert a distortion pedal between your guitar and amp. Here, I'm using my amp set to the clean channel with the rock EQ setting that we just learned. For the distortion, I'm using a Carl Martin Plexitone. I have the boost set just before 10 o'clock. The level control is the same as volume, and you could adjust it to your liking. Just before 1 o'clock would be ideal. Tone is set to 3 o'clock, high gain to 1, and crunch is dialed in just past 10 o'clock. The use of a distortion pedal allows a lot more tonal possibilities, and it also allows us to easily switch from a clean tone to a dirty rhythm tone. The select button allows me to choose between 2 tones, high gain and crunch. And by engaging the boost, I have a slightly louder lead guitar tone. During each lesson, I'll use a general distorted tone for each description. During the practice tempos, I'll be adding more effects. To give the guitar sound a little more depth, you might also want to add some chorus. Here, I'm using the Carl Martin Classic Chorus. During the guitar solos, I'll be adding a Carl Martin echo tone delay effect. The key of E dominates guitar and rock music. So let's start out by learning a basic structure for a rock guitar rhythm based in the key of E. Simply start with a downstroke on the open E note and let it ring out for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll switch to the 5th string open A note. Here I'll alternate to an upstroke and hold for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we switch back to the open 6-string E note, pick with a downstroke for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then E again with an upstroke for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a very simple structure. E, A, E, E. Since you're not holding any frets with your playing hand, you could use a technique called damping or muting to prevent any stray notes from ringing out on other strings. To do this, just lightly touch the strings you don't want to ring out. So when you play the 6th-string E note, you can lightly touch the 5th through 1st strings, and this will prevent unwanted notes from ringing out. This way, if you accidentally pick extra strings, they will be muted and you'll only hear the note you want, which is the open E. When you switch to the open 5th string A note, just move the damping technique down to the 4th string, and you could even bring your thumb around to mute the 6th string. With this muting technique, you could even strum all 6 strings but you only hear the note you are allowing to ring out. Of course, you can also practice picking accurately so you don't hit any stray notes. Alright, so our first exercise was made with the beginner guitarist in mind. It is very simple, just E, A, E, E. Don't worry, as we discussed earlier, we're going to progress to a lot of advanced rock guitar playing, but for starters, let's keep things simple for our beginner viewers. Let's practice this rhythm at a slow tempo of 50 beats per minute or 50 BPM. We'll play it twice, then move on to the next lesson.